You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
The wheel is turning and you can't slow down. You can't let go and you can't hold on. You can't go back.
Hello and welcome back into my Wheelhouse. Today is July 16th. We are 2 games away, I guess 3 games away from the end of Summer League and about to be into the third oblivion of the NBA offseason. We have the leadoff after the finals.
What do we get, about a half hour before we move into the next section of it?
So we're going to have another month or so. The regular season, preseason will start to kick up closer to the beginning and mid of September, and that's when more stuff will heat up. We didn't get to sleep a lot last year because we had the Kyrie trade and other stuff like that. We'll see if there's any more big waves, but this is where we're entering a
lull?
A lull. We'll have to drum up the cards again eventually and stuff
hats
like that.
And all that stuff, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, have to get creative with things. We didn't struggle to get topics, but we're at the point where
I got some teams.
We're running out of things to talk about.
Okay.
But,
I'm not.
Do you have any chumps before we get to the wheel?
I did have a chump, and I did have a chump. I actually had 2 chumps. I have one's a crossover. You've heard about Tiger Woods playing Phil Mickelson for $10 million.
What's your take
I think it's a money grab, and it's ridiculous, and I agree with Patrick. Patrick Reed won the Masters this year, and Patrick Reed has come right out and said, if they want to make it real, put their own money on the line. Each of them take out $10 million and put. Huh? They got sponsors for it all. It's just it's bogus. If they were actually playing each other, put $10 million out of Tiger's pocket, $10 million out of Phil's pocket, I think it would have a lot of interest. And I think they got enough money, but they can.
I bet you it will garner interest because I didn't know that it wasn't their own money.
No. And then I don't know whether they're going to give it to charity. But I do have another chump I got. Is I never throw Adam Silver under the bus in his office, but I don't like how they're spinning this that there's really no inequity between the East and the West, and that everything is really there's plenty of parity. There's always been dynasties, and there's no imbalance between the East and the West. And it's his assistant, it's a female that's his assistant that's really spinning it, but he is too. Yeah, that she's spinning it, and I thought that was kind of bogus. I know they got to do it, but come on, face up to it. The West is stronger than the East.
Yeah, but they can't say that. Doesn't it make sense? The things that he's saying, aren't you like, okay, I guess he has to say that?
And he's a master of that. He's a master of that.
He needs to prop up the aspects of the league that are weak.
Who are they fooling on this one?
That's just what he needs to say. It's just what he needs to say.
If it's ever been unbalanced, it's unbalanced right now.
Yeah, right? I guess. I mean, he did say.
Although one of the things we get on the board and stuff when you start talking to some of these teams and the way they're improving, makes the East a little more interesting.
Well, yeah, the intrigue is there. It's just in terms of performance and star power. It's obvious that the West outweighs the East, which is fine. I think it's fine. I mean,
I do too.
I think that they're doing a good job. I understand what you're saying to a degree, like they're not really owning it in terms of how imbalanced it is, but I think they are doing a good job in connecting it historically. And the league has always had dynasties in terms of how it's performed year to year and what chances of parity there have been from the bottom of the league to the top of the league. So maybe it's not that much different in general, just because we have 14 of the top 20 players of the league in the Western Conference. There's still going to be
7 of the 8 reigning MVPs.
Right. Yeah. That might not change much at the end of the day if we're going to have a dynasty and we have intriguing teams in the East. Who cares? I think that's kind of what they're trying to drum up. There's interest all around the league, regardless. So maybe it doesn't matter.
I buy into the travel issue where
I don't buy into that. I think that's baloney. That's baloney. That's baloney.
Yeah.
They can fix that by extending the playoff schedule, putting more time in between
Miami
games.
To play Portland. That's not a problem.
No. What do you mean? I mean, if New Orleans has to play Portland, that's not dramatically different.
Okay.
That's very similar. And all they have to do is extend the time in between each series, between each game. If they want more travel, if they're nervous about travel distance, then give a bigger cushion for travel time. I think it's very easily, and the biggest solution to that.
They've worked hard to eliminate the back-to-backs.
Right.
Worked hard to make it.
They're taking steps.
This would be a step in the wrong direction. They're saying.
No, I think that maybe they're holding back in terms of that because they don't want people to speculate on it coming sooner than it might come. Yeah. I think down the road, eventually, there'll be a conference realignment or a conference adjustment, whether it's full 1-16 or whether it's the top 4 seeds on each conference stay on their side and then it gets reseeded for the bottom teams. I don't know what it is. I think it's several years away, but these steps.
I'll hang my hat on. We're only going to play the Lakers twice.
Right.
And so there's that. If you're not going to correct that imbalance about how many times we're going to play the New York Knicks and how many times we're going to play the LA Lakers, how can you go 1-16 when that's not balanced?
Right. I think that the league will continue to take small steps in the direction of creating less of an imbalance in terms of the conference. I mean,
Silver is right on target. The league's doing well. Let's face it. That's what.
Right.
Is it Michelle? Is that what you said?
Michelle Roberts. Yeah, they just brought her back in for an extension.
Hey, talking about the females, they're talking about the female referees.
Yep.
The 19 of the 81 officials in the Summer League are female, and 50% of the hires in the G League this year are all going to be female. There's only one female referee right now. I was surprised at that there's only one in the NBA.
Actual in the NBA?
I thought it was a couple.
That's a surprising ratio in terms of Summer League to actual NBA then.
Well, they're trying to get
Because
more.
I think that there's more than one, really?
No, I even wrote down her name. I had it on my other notes.
I believe you.
But yeah, there's one.
Okay.
And they're looking to have more. So they got 19 in the Summer League, and they're going to have 50% of everybody that's coming into the G League, because I guess that's how it goes. You go into the G League, and that's your minor leagues for referees before they move up.
Makes sense. I thought refereeing has been okay in the Summer League. You can't find much to complain about. I feel like they're letting them play the right amount. You know what I mean?
More or less, yeah, I would agree. Maybe they should do that way.
All right, we're landing on Isaiah Thomas.
Let's do
Isaiah
it.
Thomas finally found a home, much to his
chagrin.
Yeah, let's say his chagrin. He wanted the Brinks truck. Very comically, people broke down how much money can actually fit into a Brinks truck. He was pretty close to getting what a Brinks truck can actually carry, because legally a Brinks truck can only carry something like $4 million. So he actually got pretty close to what a Brinks truck.
Really?
Yeah.
Legally can only carry that much.
So he got pretty close to what actually a Brinks truck can carry.
But he was thinking of a jumbo Brinks truck.
Yeah, he was thinking of maybe a cement mixer.
Yeah, one thing my thought I had on that is take away the hip injury.
Yeah.
If he never talked Brinks truck,
Yeah.
I wonder if we would have tried to keep him, because he was adamant that I'm getting a max deal out of you guys, and I think that really steered us away from him. It didn't help his case with us.
I don't think it hurt his case, though. The only reason that he wasn't pushing a max contract from a number of teams, there's several teams that are desperate for a point guard coming into this free agency. Some of them solved their issues, but even certain teams are still looking for a point guard. Phoenix, Orlando. I'm surprised those teams didn't take swings.
Yeah, so we get some
Charlotte could have used a backup. I'm sure those teams would have thrown oodles of money at Isaiah if he didn't have a hip injury.
He sucked much lower than that. He's getting the veteran minimum. It's a proven
because of the hip, though. Because of the hip.
Okay, for the hip. We don't know where he is.
It's not because him talking about I want money.
It looks like he's going to be a backup.
Yeah, of course he is.
He's going to come off the bench. He averaged 15.5 points a game for the Lakers off the bench, and it may work there. But that's
so he's going to
prove himself.
Right. So he's going to slide into the guard rotation with the Denver Nuggets. He got the vet minimum to go there just for one season to really rehab his own value. Hopefully, prove that he still has scoring ability and the ability to get his own shot and facilitate a strong offense when he's on the floor. I think this system and the players that he's going to be surrounded by are going to be very good for him. It's definitely going to be a volatile defense.
So Jamal Murray and Harris.
So they're going to be starting some type of combination of. They just got rid of Wilson Chandler, so I'm thinking Will Barton probably is going to move up to the 3, even though he was playing lots of 2 minutes last year. So that means there's going to be a lot of 1 and 2 minutes available off the bench. I think he's going to have a lot of run with Jamal Murray on the floor, with Will Barton on the floor. He's going to have a lot of minutes with Jokic, and I think those two are going to play off each other fantastically. If we think about how
Harris gets a lot of minutes too.
Yeah, well, Harris is going to be he's the lone strong defender on that team. So he needs to pair off with these guys a lot. We're looking at this team probably being, if not the best offense in the league, maybe a top 3.
Well, especially because they got Michael Porter too, so you don't.
He's not playing. I don't think he's playing.
Okay.
I bet you over under and his minutes that he plays is probably like 30 minutes this coming season.
I like Lyles. I think Lyles could be a decent
Lyles is
player.
interesting, especially with them. So back to the initial deal for them to be able to fit this in and for them to get some cap relief in general. They had to ship off the contracts of Kenneth Faried and Darrell Arthur, who were both good locker room guys for them. There was no ill will between them and the Denver Nugget organization. It was just that their contracts were becoming somewhat of a pariah and was restricting them in their ability to make moves like the Isaiah Thomas move that followed. So they paired off a top 12 protected pick, sent it out to Brooklyn, who, for them to be able to take in the contracts, had to ship off Jeremy Lin to Atlanta. So it was kind of a 3-team deal, but it wasn't really. It was just kind of like 3 deals happening at once.
I thought Brooklyn was going to do the same thing they did with Howard. It looks like they've got this plan in place to buy draft picks. Where they take in Carmelo in, they buy Carmelo out, but they get the draft picks with it. They take Howard. I thought they were going to do that and go like the Celtics way of building your team with draft picks.
It's a smart way to go.
I anticipated they were going to do it with Anthony too.
What's weird is I don't understand why other teams didn't jump on this sooner. I'm very curious why a team like Atlanta, why wouldn't Atlanta go for a pick that's probably going to be somewhere between 14 and 18? Why wouldn't they want another first round pick?
Because there's lots of teams that want to get rid of those type of guys, and they'll throw in some draft choice. The other issue I see with this IT thing is the loyalty issue that goes back to Ainge, and some people are talking about that right now. There's no loyalty in this league. There was no loyalty, and to me it goes both ways. And the players, they're not showing any loyalty by doing like LeBron does and George does and everything. They're ready to jump ship. So why should ownership and Ainge? They've got to do the same thing, and he's doing the same thing with Smart. They do the same with IT. That they've got to find what's best for them, and I don't think there is any loyalty anymore.
It's a growing rarity in the league. I mean, we do see little ounces of it here and there. I mean, we saw Paul George stay for a team.
But I wonder if that was loyalty.
I don't know if that's the right word
I don't know
for
what
it,
it was.
but we see signs of it here and there,
Yeah.
and we see teams extending offers because they want to show respect to players that are on their roster moving forward. Say, hey, we like what you've contributed to our organization moving forward. We see the Spurs.
Not much of it, though.
We see the Spurs do it a lot. The Spurs did it last year. They overpaid Pau Gasol. That type of system where, okay, you've been in our organization. You treated us well. You took a pay cut previously. Now we'll pay you. You can go even as far back as like Kobe with the Lakers. I mean, they're paying a veteran what his due worth is, even if it's a much more than what his actual perceived value at the time of signing that contract is.
But that's becoming rare.
So right, it is rare. That's my point. I think moving forward, that's perfectly fine. I do think we're
It's working both ways.
Right.
The players can jump. The players being on these one-year contracts.
I love this for IT. I think he's got to be on top of the favorites for Sixth Man of the Year. I think he's coming in. He's going to be.
We don't know his health.
He's gonna. I think he's playing open at night.
Sixth Man of the Year.
I think he's gonna be playing open at night. He's gonna come off. I think he has a very strong chance to score over 16
He's
a
always
game.
been somebody that's responded with his back to the wall.
He does. Yep. This team. Okay, we should think about this team in general.
Yeah,
every single draft pick on this team, they don't have a single top. I think Jamal Murray is their highest draft pick, and he was like the 7th or 8th. But every other pick, Gary Harris was like 15. Jokic, second-round player. Paul Millsap, second-round player. Michael Porter, he's got a chip on his shoulder, dropped to 14. IT, 60th pick. Will Barton, second-round player. Every single player that is getting rotation minutes for this team has motivation as in terms of everyone else judging them and doubting them for their success in the league. And most of them have been able to flip that and flip the narrative and become a successful player. So I like this team. I'm hopeful that Coach Mike Malone will be able.
They're a match because he coached them in Sacramento.
Exactly. So they go together.
I think IT's going to buy into this as an opportunity for
Malone
himself.
He has his ups and downs as a coach.
He does, but he's got a connection with Isaiah. That's strong.
I think that he's a good personality coach.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I trust his rotations, especially late in games. If teams are on a run, he often sticks with lineups for a little bit too long. So we'll see how he's be able to handle this. I think overall, I'm expecting IT to get over 16 points a game, rehab his ability and his value to a degree, and I think that coming into next year, he's going to get a more handsome offer from another team.
One thing that we have seen with him so far as he recovers from this injury is that he's still 5'9" unless something's changed.
Yeah.
And
Maybe 5'8" now.
if anything, he's lost a little bit in speed. A little bit.
Right.
We don't know how much, and that translates to the 5'9" playing defense without the speed that he had before.
This team's going to be a bottom 10
6-man will be perfect for him.
This team's going to be a horrible defense.
And I think a good-sized Brinks truck will back up for a good 6-man. He's still relatively young, right? He's in 28.
I think he's like 31.
Oh, really?
I think he just turned 30 last year. I think his 30th birthday was on the Celtics, I think.
And it is true that he gave everything for the Celtics. He put his body on the line. He sacrificed his body. He played when he was hurt. And now,
I like that he's getting a chance. He's getting a chance.
Yeah.
I don't have much else to say. Do you have any thoughts about the Nets getting Fareed and Arthur? They're probably going to waive.
Fareed wasn't playing with
Denver
Denver anyway.
One of them.
So Fareed, I think Fareed will. I don't think there's anything wrong with Fareed's game.
Right.
It didn't. For some reason, they backed off him in Denver, and they gave other guys. Maybe with Millsap coming, it took his minutes. I don't know what's going on with Brooklyn and who's staying and who's going.
It's weird.
And what's going on there. They've got they've got some interesting things happening on that team. I just don't have a feel for what their roster is.
IT is
now.
29. You're right. He's only 29. His birthday's
Okay.
in February,
so
so
he's
he's still got some time.
2 years.
But we, in terms of what we expect for the life expectancy of an NBA point guard that's under 6 feet, his career is on the downturn. But back to Brooklyn, I think that this team is going to be an intriguing team
Really?
moving forward.
I picked them last week as the bottom team in the league.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, they're going to be around that area.
I love Joe Harris.
And they're going to be trying to be that bottom team in the league because this coming forward, this is the first year that they're going to be exiting out of this dramatic just being being owned, being enslaved by the Boston Celtics, having all their draft picks owned. So moving forward, they're going to want to be as bad as possible in this rebuilding process. But I like the thought process of getting assets by taking bad contracts. I think they're probably going to waive one, or if not both, of Darrell Arthur and Fareed. I think one could fit in well off the bench. I like Arthur probably more, even though his abilities might be a little bit worse, because he has the ability to stretch the floor a little bit more, and he's been proven or rumored to be a greater locker room presence than Fareed.
Fareed was a good locker room presence until he
he's
started losing his playing
Yeah, he's an
time.
energy guy. I mean, I feel bad for him. In 2014 FIBA tournament, he was the best player on the United States team, but the league really turned away from him. He's a rim running big who's undersized.
Well, he's not even undersized.
So he's going to struggle.
Really
but moving forward, I like this team. I like their move of getting off of
Well,
Jeremy
what
Lin.
you like about the team is that they're positioning
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
You don't really like the team.
they have an identity and they
Yeah.
have a goal.
I find it interesting, and I'm not where I stand on the tanking issue.
Right.
But it seems like there's a bunch of teams already lining up to tank.
They're tanking for sure.
And I'm hearing other teams that are lining up to tank
well,
too.
if you think about it, so they shipped out Jeremy Lin, who was a strong role player for them last year. So
Injured.
they're going to be able to edge out more minutes for their young D'Angelo Russell. Hopefully, he can pan out for them. They still have Spencer Dinwiddie. He has another couple of years on a really, really, really friendly contract.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they moved him, try to get
But,
maybe some more player assets.
Russell's not an answer.
Closer.
and,
No, he's not an answer, but hopefully he can develop into a strong starter for them at least, maybe a third best player on a playoff roster for them in the future. I think that they have other strong pieces as well. Jared Allen is promising as a shot blocker.
Yeah.
He's explosive. He's long. I like Hollis Jefferson at the 4. I think he's aggressive. I think he'll be a good fifth starter on a playoff team. I like some of the pieces they have. Obviously, they don't have a 1, a 2, or even maybe a 3 player
Really?
yet, but
That's a long
they're
way to
taking steps in the
go.
right. Well, you think about where they were. They were in the desolation 2 years ago. Last year, they're coming from the absolute dungeon,
I'm
and they're
wondering
making their way
why
up.
Phoenix and Orlando are not stepping up for the point guards.
Yeah, that's weird.
What do they hold them back?
I think
They've had,
they-
now
I
you've
think
got
they-
Tony Parker, Jeremy Lin, and Isaiah Thomas.
Well,
all
Tony
go by-
Parker's a nobody.
Huh?
Tony Parker's a nobody. He's
For
What is he,
Phoenix or
35?
for Orlando, he would start for Orlando, and for 1 year. I'm just saying that they don't.
Jerry Grant is just as much of a point guard in the NBA today as Tony Parker.
I don't think so.
Tony Parker's 35. He's slow.
I
He
haven't seen
can't
a lot
shoot
of
anymore.
good point guard play from Jerry and Grant.
I don't know.
He looks like he's
Well,
off the ball.
I
a little
agree.
bit to me.
They both stink. I mean,
Oh, Parker doesn't stink.
Yeah, he does. He's 35 years old. He can't move.
Okay.
He's perennially injured, and he can't shoot outside of 15 feet. Tony Parker's dust. He's the only reason he's in a locker room is to hopefully rub off on some younger players in the right
Hey,
way.
did you see with there's only 7 players in the history of the NBA that have played 1,100 games with the same team, and Parker's
1,100. That's a lot.
1,100 games with the same team. I mean, Dirk did.
Right.
Only one Celtic, John Havlicek, is the only Celtic that ever played 1,100 games with
What was
the
the number?
Celtics.
How many? 6?
There's 7.
7.
There was 8 with Parker, and
And
now
then-
Parker is Parker.
Well,
is
I mean,
left.
he's still- isn't
so
he-
Kobe did it.
It's interesting. Well, okay.
Reggie Miller did it.
What about the third aspect of this deal with Atlanta getting Jeremy Lin? Does that make you nervous about Trae Young's role and his ability to carve out minutes?
Oh my God! If we get to the draft, what do you see? Well, I think Trae Young has slipped.
Okay. Well, do you think that maybe that means they're going to be looking to trade Schroeder more recently?
I don't know why they haven't got rid of Schroeder yet.
Hey,
I
but,
mean,
he's
it's like,
been a pariah
what
for
are they
them.
doing? I mean, it does seems like he wants out all this stuff, but you're not even hearing anything happening with him.
Right.
There's another one that whether it's Orlando
Trade for him.
or Phoenix, come on.
They
you
could
know?
use him.
So,
Phoenix is interesting. I think you're gonna be surprised with Brandon Knight. I think that people forget that he even exists.
That's
I
true.
mean, he
That's
averages in his career. He averages 15 points per game in his career.
Okay.
He's had 3 seasons where he averages over 18 points per game. He's a scorer.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's an interesting backcourt pairing with Devin Booker. I think that defensively, we'll see how far along he's going to come back from his injury. They held him out longer than needed to be last year because of their tanking approach. Yeah. But I think that he could be an interesting player coming into the season that could really benefit from the spacing that DeAndre Ayton is going to create and from the defensive attention that Devin Booker is going to get. I think that he's probably going to get over 2 threes a game. I think he's a good slot to get 14 points a game, and he could help them.
Talking about point guards, I had cousin James over yesterday. He comes over on Sundays and kind of preps me for the show. We talk for an hour, and we were talking how, and this me being a dinosaur again, is that a dying breed is the pass-first point guard.
Oh, absolutely.
So that in my head, I'm still thinking pass-first point guard when I'm matching up on Phoenix and the only one I could think of was Rondo. I don't know if there's any others that are left. So that I got to come in terms of what the type of point guards that are playing. Who'd you say was?
There's a couple. Ben Simmons, Lonzo.
I guess, but you're right.
They still exist.
They still exist.
They are less prominent. I mean, there's such a focus on shooting and self-creation. I mean, probably the most important skill.
But James would have considered Kyrie a pass-first point guard. And I said, no, I don't.
Well, it's interesting because the emphasis on what skills you need to have as a starting and high-caliber point guard in the league, creation and ability to create space is probably the number one for a point guard for you to be successful in the league. And players realize that coming up through the ranks from high school basketball, AAU to college. So they're focusing on scoring. They're focusing on their ability to create their own shot and less on passing. So that's something interesting to look forward to. I think that Trae Young's safe. I think that he's going to play the most minutes out of those three guards. Most minutes. He's going to play the most minutes.
If we get to talk about him, I got some thoughts on him when we get there.
All right, free agency. We didn't get to talk about it last week, so we'll do a brief recap of some of the players. I'm just going to run through a ton of players that signed since last Monday. So we got Jerebko to Golden State. Kyle Anderson to Memphis. San Antonio didn't match. Obviously a big one, DeMarcus Cousins to Golden State. Bjelica went to Philly. Tyreek Evans went to Indiana, along with Kyle O'Quinn, who also went to Indiana. Zach LaVine, Sacramento offered him a big contract, so Chicago matched, so he's going back to Chicago. Tony Parker, as you say, went to Charlotte. We got Jeff Green and Dwight Howard to Washington. Nurkic went back to Portland. Brooke Lopez, an interesting signing from Milwaukee. And most recently, we had Jabari Parker yesterday go to Chicago.
That's a good one. I mean, we got Chicago on
right,
but
so
most of
I want
those
to focus on the non-Chicago ones.
Most of those just don't have much consequence, and they're just one thing in free agency there we talked about, like the restricted free agents or whatever it is, the deals, the Evan Turner deals, the Crab deals, the Luol Deng deals, the $75 million from they aren't happening no more. So you're seeing guys like Marcus Smart and guys that are you're just waiting out. They're not going to make those type of mistakes again.
Right.
They really hurt a team.
And big deals are getting.
What Portland has done. They had Crab and Turner, and they've got Leonard. So they've got teams have learned their lesson from that. And in free agency, if you're not one of the max guys, it's not
and we see such a strong scrutinization even of deals that are slightly bad now. I mean, teams freaked out, and the general consensus was supremely negative of the Zach LaVine deal when Sacramento offered it. When Sacramento, everyone said, Sacramento, typical of the Kings. Vlade, what is he doing? Throwing money around, an injury-prone player. And then when Chicago went back and matched, Chicago really bailing out Sacramento.
They are in some ways. We were going to talk about Chicago. I don't see it on the board, so Chicago is developed an interesting team, as we said, and I think probably the most pressure is on Zach LaVine. That $78 million is a lot to pay for him in terms of what he's done so far in the league. Him and Dunn in the backcourt with Jabari Parker up front with Markkanen and Carter. That's a nice little five-man team there. That team is rising.
Yeah, I like that team a lot. I think it's going to be interesting in what they do in the future, and we'll talk more about them in a little bit.
Okay. I thought we had them on.
We do. They're on there. I think that it's pretty funny looking at the teams that have made
Young Bulls. I see them.
The things that have done multiple signings. I think Indiana, they started off really sketchy because July 1st, they signed a contract, $21 million with Doug McDermott, and everyone was kind of like scratching their heads, like, what are they doing? There's so many players that can do what Doug McDermott offers. But then for them to follow it up with Tyreek Evans and Kyle O'Quinn, I think that they rounded out their free agency very well. Yeah. I think Tyreek Evans being a secondary creator to help them. Tyreek Evans probably has the second best year of his career last year following his rookie season, and maybe in terms of efficiency, probably even his best season of his career.
Yeah.
And then Kyle O'Quinn, an increasingly stretch big to come off the bench and be a good veteran for Miles Turner.
Good minutes.
I like both of these moves. I think that this team is getting stronger. It is getting deeper in an East that the window is open, and I think that this team absolutely has the ability to be a top 4 seed coming into next season.
Ooh. Well, I guess it's very possible. I'm wondering whether they bottomed out, whether they reached their potential last year, and whether they're going to slide from there.
Could be. I mean, you see when teams have a big outcome and a
surprise,
usually they plateau and they fall down a little bit. Nothing else is really interesting. I do want to say I really like the Brooke Lopez signing from Milwaukee. I think that's a really smart deal. We see that they came into this offseason with goals of getting shooting around Giannis, and I think them drafting DiVincenzo, even though he hasn't looked that strong in the summer league,
Hasn't played that much.
the outlook and the vision is there, and that really pairs and matches well with the Brook Lopez signing. I think that he's probably gonna start, and I think that he's gonna play.
I think he's gonna start.
You think probably over John
He's gonna
Henson?
get Brogdon's about minutes.
Brogdon's minutes. Brook Lopez.
Oh, Brook Lopez. I thought you
Not
meant,
DiVincenzo is not going to get a lot of
Okay,
minutes.
I would say he probably is going to start. I don't like that team that much, Milwaukee. No,
You're getting sour on them. That used to be your team.
Well, I love Brogdon.
Yeah.
But I don't like Bledsoe, so that he's still there. He's
still
still
gonna
the
have
point
Bledsoe.
guard. I don't think they're building. I think they could do a whole lot better job building around Giannis than they are.
Well, I think that's what they're trying. I mean, they don't have a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah.
I think letting Jabari go was the right move. I don't think that his skill set and his risk of ability to be able to produce at a high level in terms of a player that matches well with the archetype that Giannis yields. I think that was a good move letting him go. I think that was a good move letting him go.
I'm not sure of that because
Why? Give Chris Middleton the ball more.
I know, but I think Parker, he spoke up about not having minutes, and he was just but when they played him, he produced in that Celtics series.
Yeah.
So that he may still have it.
I think that's a little bit too small sample size theory to extrapolate over all of the poor showing that he had elsewise.
And then he opened his mouth. He got some minutes, and he produced, and he played well.
I mean, that was the best defense he's probably played in his career. Those 2 quarters
and he
against
scored
the Celtics.
points too,
Yeah.
and he
Regardless,
they do have Middleton.
I like Lopez. I think I'm watching the Bucks. I like Sterling Brown. I think that he's going to be able to come in and play over 20 minutes this year. I think if Jabari was still there, they wouldn't have the ability to hopefully develop some unknown skills out of him. I think they have an interesting lineup, just flexibility moving forward now without Jabari there
and
with
they
Brook
got
Lopez
drop kick maker too.
Yeah, drop kick. The flying knee.
The flying knee.
That's right.
And he's demanding some time. Lopez doesn't rebound. He bothers me.
What do you want to talk about? Your name's on the wheel.
I don't know if I have. My name is on the wheel. Let's see if I do have something here. I might. No, let's go.
Skip it. Yeah,
Let's go.
I agree.
We're talking about all
We
good
got things to
stuff.
talk about.
Yeah.
Boston Celtics. All right. So we got eliminated from the Summer League tournament. Very sad. I'm really super disappointed.
Well, we played a lot of games.
We did. We were around for a while.
We didn't play Ojale or Bird.
We made it to the quarterfinal. We're looking good. I love what I've seen from both Shemi and Nyabu. I think both of them looked really good. They separated themselves. They were in the tier of, okay, these guys clearly are a cloth above the other players here. Defensively, Shemi is nuclear. He looks like he can come in and guard anyone. It was really funny. One of the post-game interviews after the game with the New York Knicks, they were like, oh, Shemi, how did you prepare yourself to guard such a dynamite offensive scorer as Kevin Knox? And Shemi was just like, I don't know, like it was a game plan. You're asking a guy who's spent the playoffs guarding LeBron and Giannis how hard it was to guard a rookie with low efficiency.
It's interesting with Shemi that when they give him things to work on, they say, his feet are great.
Yeah.
He stays in front he's unbelievable how wide his stance is, and he can still stay balanced and stay in front of anybody.
Very stocky.
All we're asking him to do is attack.
Yeah.
Go get him because you're all set.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So they're just going to incite him to get all the way up in his face and go. Maybe turn a little more into Marcus Smart out there.
Right.
I think you got a prize there defensively.
I love him. I think that he's going
shooting better. Continuously, he'll get more confidence. His shot's not bad.
Right. No.
It's a matter of him getting confidence and taking more shots. It was perfect for them to play the Summer League.
Absolutely. I think it was great for him. I think moving forward, him as a catch and shoot creator, I think will be great. I think in blowout games, we're having a lot of those this coming year. In blowout games, he'll have the ability to hopefully develop more of a dribble creation game. We saw some fadeaway, some low post, some mid post offensive creation from Shemi that previously I didn't know existed.
Yep.
At SMU, he was supposedly a scorer, but that was mostly bully ball scoring. It wasn't
which would be good for him.
It wasn't a finesse game. So now we're seeing a combination of both.
The hole.
So I like it a lot. I think that
there's a nice rhythm, a nice flow. Him and Yabusele, you can tell they're bringing Brad Stevens right on that court with us.
Right. Absolutely.
You can see it. You can see exactly.
Their leadership
they're playing just like it. That team is loaded.
Yeah.
Oh my God. When you go over what that team has got, I mean, their bench is Shemi, the Dancing Bear, Wanamaker, Theis, Morris, Rozier, and Baines with Smart.
Yeah.
And then the 14th man is Williams. I mean, that is amazing. And even the guys they're going to do G League with, I continue to be you know how I wear the badge of the guys I like or whatever. But Hassan Martin did play well.
He did play well.
And I think he's going to get a G League contract. I think
He
he's going
should
to
do
get
good on
two-way.
the Red Claws. He should do
Because
good
they
on the Red Claws.
dropped Kadeem Allen.
Well, we just signed today. We just signed a guard, Walt Lemon Jr. He didn't play minutes for our summer team.
Yeah.
I think he played minutes for the Heat
Yeah.
summer league team.
Because they're going to keep Bird. They're going to do it with Bird.
He's
So
explosive.
Bird doesn't even make the team, and he was pretty good.
No,
So
he was explosive. I don't know a lot about him, but
Yeah.
he has a cool name.
I
so.
hope Martin gets a two-way, but he's going to get a bunch. He said there's a lot of teams coming at him right now. I was reading in the paper today where he's going to have a number of offers where they're two ways or somebody. I think he played really well. You know, he led the team in rebounding for
Yep.
he only played about 15 seconds. Yesterday he played 31 minutes,
Right.
had 16 points and 9 rebounds. He's 6'7", and he's big enough. I don't think he's that small. He really rebounds.
How old is he?
Oh, he's only 23.
Yeah, well, he was a 3 or was he 4
4
year at Rhode Island?
Second year out. So last year was his first year out.
Oh, okay.
So and he was a 4-year.
Okay.
He was a 4-year and he
Yeah,
was his second
that's
year out. He went to Japan.
Right.
Kind of sharpened his axe over there. He was
Right.
injured at the end of the URI season, and then he came in. But what he's got is that he has an innate ability to rebound, that you can see it with him. And there's a timing to your rebounds. You have to hang a little bit before you go. You
gotta
hang.
watch the
You
ball.
can't get there too early. You're going to have a rhythm, and he has got it. Watch him on the offensive boards. He hangs, he's following a shot, and then he knows just when to make his move, so his timing's right there for the jump. Blocks out real well, blocks shots, finishes quite well. He had some good finishes. There's a lot of good things about his game. Hit the
Excited.
outside shot. I'm a
Okay,
URI
so
guy.
what's your biggest disappointment from summer league? I think there's an obvious
Robert
one.
Williams.
Right.
And Robert Williams
Lost
has
his wallet twice.
He's got disaster written all over him. The only thing that we got is that we got a team that may be able to bring a guy like that. But the complete negative thing, and it probably isn't fair to him, but the extreme guys are saying lost his wallet 4 times.
Twice.
Left it in his friend 3 times. They're saying once coming back, he didn't have it coming when
I lose my wallet sometimes.
in his friend's car twice. What they're connecting it with is the credit card comes out to cut up lines of cocaine. That's what they're tying it. And they're saying flew from Boston. He didn't go home. He went back to Texas A&M to be
That's
with
nonsense.
to be with his homies.
That's nonsense.
He's
He's moving out of Texas A&M.
I'm saying is that he slid down as far as he slid. We're seeing lots of he missed his flight. He missed a practice. He headed to his down with his homies. Yeah, you lose your wallet once, but I don't know. I'm not into the drug scene at all, and I don't expect that you are either. But if that means something,
I don't know if you can connect those things. Losing your wallet doesn't mean you're
in
doing
a friend's
lines of
car
blow.
twice,
Yeah, it fell out of his pocket. He's forgetful. He's clearly kind of
but
a
they're saying
dingus.
it comes out for the credit card.
What do you mean? The credit
card chops up the.
What if he only wears gym shorts and you only wear gym shorts? The stuff
I'm
falls
not-
out of your pockets all the time.
There's a
You
lot-
know how often
there's a
my
lot-
keys
so
fall in
what
my
I'm looking
pockets?
at, he's a guy that's going to need to be babysat.
Yes, absolutely.
And because he needs to be babysat, I don't think we can send him to the G League because
No,
he's
I
not
think
going to
he
get good
ha-
enough
I agree,
babysitting.
I agree.
So he's going to have to be the 14th
He needs
man
to be
so
on the
we
bench.
can sit with him and follow everything that he's doing. And he's a big question mark.
He's got a lot of talent. I mean, we got
even the injury,
We got the
Trey.
new things about the tendonitis and the knee tremor stuff. That's obviously nerve-wracking. The negatives and concerns are piling and piling and piling. And I think that he really missed a chance in this summer league to really shoot some of those negatives down with his play on the court. And in the short stint of 6 minutes that we saw,
It was good.
We
It
saw
was a
that,
good
like,
6
yeah,
minutes.
he looked good. And if we saw 20 minutes, we wouldn't care as much about all these questions
I
and
agree.
about all these negatives. And it's so bad that he hasn't played because now these things matter so much more. Losing his wallet, missing flights, and missing practices. Those things don't matter as much if you're on the court and you're dominating, but they matter a lot when you're injured and you're sitting on the bench.
You're in Boston. You got practice and
Yes,
less
I
than
know. It's stupid.
and you
Why
head
did-
home
why
to see
did-
your friends at
Wait,
Texas A&M.
I don't know.
I think it was party time.
I don't
And
think
I mean, when he overslept, we didn't make the phone call. That's party time, Shay.
He's enjoying himself. He got drafted. He's
Yeah.
enjoying himself.
Okay.
I don't know. I hold out hope. I think he's going to be good. I think he has all the talent that he needs.
He doesn't deserve to be on that roster. He
does
should
not.
be in the G League.
Yes.
And we should have Jabari Bird or Hassan Martin or the guy you're talking about should take the 14th spot. He's going to take the 14th spot.
We'll see what happens. That's crazy town. That's crazy. Okay. Summer League. All right. Let's do some recaps.
Okay. Nice. I got an all-star team.
I'm interested in your all-star team tonight. We got 3 more
Nice
games.
game tonight. Cavs in LA. I
Yeah,
love
we
that
got
one.
Cleveland. We got Sexton playing Josh Hart and the Lakers, and then on the late slate we have Memphis with Jaren Jackson playing Anthony Simons and Gary Trent with Portland. So Lakers haven't lost a game in summer league game in since last year. They've won
But they lost in the finals last year.
No, they won last
the whole
year.
thing.
They won the whole thing last year. So I think they've won 11 straight summer
I love
league
that
games.
team.
I like their team a lot too.
I love that team.
Do you like Svi? How do you feel about Svi?
Who?
Svi McCoy.
Oh yeah, I'm a Shalakuk. I went from Kansas.
Yeah.
When I saw your Kansas shirt, that's
You
what I was
thought-
thinking. When it came in, I checked the back. Maybe he's already got a Mashalakuk or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice rhythm shooter. A nice rhythm shooter with the dribble. He looks like he's better than Grayson Allen to me.
No.
why
No,
not?
absolutely not.
He's got a nicer rhythm.
Absolutely not. I disagree 100%. Grayson Allen.
He
I think
carry
Grayson
any
Allen.
baggage.
okay.
He's improved steadily over right through his senior year, right up to I think he's got a lot of. I like his game.
I like his game too, and I think he's going to be a great 15th guy on the Lakers roster. I think because he can shoot, that's going to give him minutes in games. I think minutes means probably 9 a game, but he's going to get some minutes purely because he can shoot. He's going to come off the bench. See him being the 2014 Heat version of James Jones. That's
I think he's better than that.
You think he's better than James Jones? James Jones is one of the best spot shooters of all time.
I think he's better than 15th man on the team and better than crossing him off.
I think this year he isn't.
I really think
isn't.
he's better than Grayson Allen. I really do.
Well, Grayson Allen has shown the ability
He's the same size, same body, same type of thing.
Grayson Allen has a much bigger wingspan comparison. He has a +5 wingspan.
I like his
Similar
handles.
Svi has a -1 wingspan. -1. That's bad.
All right.
Yeah. Short arms.
Yes. Okay. A -1. What's a -1? How do you get? His arms are -1 inches long.
That's the plus and minus is how you judge it.
On standard?
No. So if you're 6'8" and you have a 6'10" wingspan, that means you have a +2 wingspan.
So he's 6'4", 6'5"?
No, he's 6'6".
Oh, good.
And he has maybe even 6'7".
Okay. He's got a nice handle, a nice shot.
He's good. I like him. I like Svi, but I think it's a little dramatic to say he's better than Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen has shown.
How good is Grayson Allen?
Grayson Allen's going to play many more minutes than Svi this year. He's shown the ability to affect the game in more than one way. He shows prominence as a rebounding guard. He shows prominence as a creation guard, a creator for others. Defending, he's a pest. He gets in other people's heads. He doesn't look like he's going to be that much of a nutcase. He looks like he can control it. In terms of how he carries himself in the game, he's turning it into intensity, and he's turning it into something where he's channeling.
I'm not buying into him yet.
I'm buying in. I'm all in on Grayson Allen. I'm less all in on Svi, but I'm still in on Svi.
The other guy I like on that
Lakers
team.
You like Mo?
I love Wagner.
I
think he's starting.
I think he could start. I think that's very interesting. If you think about those three guys, you got McGee, who they just signed.
Yeah, why not bring him off the bench? Play Wagner first.
Who's more defensive than the other two guys, and then you got the young Zubac, who's still there, who's been a project in the past couple of years. And you got Mo, and I think that Mo probably will. I think they're going to alternate.
Yeah, but that's nice.
I think at the end of the season, you're going to see Mo probably start the most games purely based on his ability to stretch the floor, paired with LeBron James and the remaining of the offense not being able to shoot. I mean, you're going to see them probably starting a lineup that's going to include, I think, LeBron at the 4, and with Ingram and with Caldwell Pope and with either Rondo or Lonzo. So that lineup has not that many shooters. Yeah, Kuzma came off the bench last year, and I think he's going to continue to do that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The other thing I like is that as I have my All-Star team in front of me, I think maybe the MVP in that league is Josh Hart.
I think purely based on the volume of games.
I think he's getting quality minutes with his team.
Yep.
He's the Villanova guy, right?
I think he's better than Caldwell Pope.
I don't like the Caldwell Pope sign.
But Caldwell Pope's going to get more minutes.
LeBron loves Caldwell Pope, and I think that it's another Tristan Thompson situation or whatever it is. I think Josh Hart is a real player.
I think so,
and when you look at he's got everything. He's got the pedigree. The Villanova guys are all looking good at this point coming in, and so he's like my favorite player one of my favorite players in the summer league.
I think his ability to be showcased so prominently is because of how the sheer number of games that he's played.
Yeah,
they played in the initial summer league, the 4-team tournament, and then they came in and they've won so much. And he has been their best player on their team, so he helps.
So I'm not counting John Collins or
De'Aaron Fox or something like that.
Smith Jr.
So those guys are better than Hart, I think, personally.
Right.
But Hart has been so good.
They're like Jaylen Brown was. They didn't belong in it.
Right.
Hart is showing it was the right place for him to be, and he's excelled.
So
that's a nice
moving forward. The game's
Svi or whatever his name is.
Svi,
him and Mo.
It's a good young three. I like those three guys.
I'm looking forward to watching them tonight.
Yeah,
and you think LeBron's coming?
LeBron came last game.
That
was a big thing.
I thought
$450 shorts.
I had a lot of discussion with James on it. And it's like it's hard for me to talk about LeBron and have people not. I'm not negative on LeBron. I'm not. He is the king of the basketball universe. And when he is in that stadium, everything revolves, everybody comes to him.
Right.
There's this aura of him that is unbelievable. And James, why are you being down? I'm not being down on him. That's LeBron is the son, and we all arrived. Do you see Ty Lue come up to him?
He looked like such a fanboy.
It was
such a
really,
fanboy.
It was a little bit strange.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit, you know. It was like, yeah.
He's like,
Really,
oh, you think I can get tickets to the game?
I'm wondering
LeBron?
whether Ty Lue's thinking, finals 3 times with LeBron, and everybody thinks I stink.
Yeah.
What the hell's going to happen
You're
now
gonna
that we only win 25 or 30 games? But
Yeah.
LeBron, and the other thing about LeBron, you can just see it. What incredible physical condition he's in. He is ready to play.
He slimmed down.
He looks great at 34 years old. He didn't get chunky like Larry Bird or these guys.
No.
He is ready to play. That
absolutely.
engine is running, baby. You can see his head moving. He like takes in the whole arena. He knows that every eye in that place is on him, and he knows just how to handle it. He, as the king, it's the way it's supposed to be, you know. And I'm not holding that against him.
And you saw him enjoying what he was seeing on the Lakers game. He was communicating back and forth with some of the players in the game.
Sure.
He hung out and had conversations with players that weren't playing. Brandon Ingram, who had an awful hairstyle. You see Brandon Ingram's hair?
No, I didn't
It's
catch it.
crazy Jerry
Is it
curl.
braids?
Oh no, it's curls.
Curls.
He looks like a menace. He looks like
Yeah.
a Michael Jackson Thriller. He looks like Ludacris.
Okay, that's right. He's on the
And he's
sideline.
had weird
Yeah,
hairstyles
yeah,
before.
yeah.
I don't really know if Brandon Ingram's style is going to fly that well, but he's communicating back and forth. He's been hanging out with Kuzma and stuff. Those young guys are so excited to have LeBron there.
But we'll see.
It should
I
be
mean,
interesting.
A lot of guys have been in the last year. A lot of guys have been excited to play LeBron.
Yep.
But that aura,
Yep.
you've got to live up to that standard. And if you don't live up to the king standard, you kind of start shaking in your boots, you know.
Right.
And I don't know whether Kuzma and Ingram, if they don't perform, they're going to start feeling that LeBron aura. So there's a lot to happen there.
All right, how about LA's opponent tonight, Cleveland Cavs? Any players in that roster stand out for you?
Sexton made my All-Star team.
Did he? Okay, cool.
But I picked my All-Star team by position. So I wanted 2 guards. I wanted a 3, a 4, and a 5.
Okay.
And I didn't really stretch out of that too much. And almost by default, I don't think the point guards were that good in this league.
Which is tragic
You know,
because
so-
Summer League has such an emphasis on point guard play,
yeah.
and it really has a window for big men. They depend on point guard play in this environment. And if you're a point guard to come in, you have just a free reign because the defense is a little bit less. You have absolutely the ability to affect your entire offense, and it wasn't that good.
I was trying to think of somebody
It
other
wasn't
than
that
Trae
good.
Young or Colin Sexton. I really couldn't. I mean, I didn't see every team play a lot. But I don't.
There have been good point guards. Every
Yeah,
team
I mean,
has.
Holiday had his moments. I
Javon
liked him.
Carter has looked awesome on
Yes,
Memphis.
and he got a contract.
We can talk about
He
him.
got a
We can talk
contract
about
in
him
the
with a
second
later
round.
game. But back to Cleveland. I've loved what I've seen out of Sexton. I think Sexton has lived up into everything that I expected of him. He's an absolute maniac competitively. He is a freak. I think he's easily the most competitive player in this draft. Him getting to the hole. He's not much of a creator for his teammates, but his pure competitive streak, his aggressiveness, and his strength at his specific position gives him the ability to create his own shot. We've talked about how important that is for point guards, his ability to get to the hole. He clearly has a knack to get to the free throw line. I'm not sure if he's great at the free throw line. He's been okay percentage-wise, but in terms of creating his own shot, he's a little dependent in terms of 19 feet. He doesn't yet have that range stretched out. He can hit threes, but he doesn't necessarily shoot them that often. But I've loved what I've seen, and defensively, he's all over the place.
Yeah.
I think he needs a little bit direction on that end of the ball, but he shows a lot of promise. I love him. I think he's a future
I've got a question
two-time
mark on him. And my question mark on him is what I'm seeing. As good as the Summer League is, the pace of the game is slower than the NBA game. And when you see the transition and you see when Sexton's coming up to the court, sometimes there's 4 guys back. And he kind of weaves his way through them to the rim. That ain't happening.
No, it's not.
And so that I'm not seeing that explosive Russell Westbrook type thing.
Well, he's
where
fast.
He's fast, but the way he's finishing a percentage of those plays, he is not getting there when the defense is back again.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, I think the level of difficulty that his finishes at the rim are high enough that I think he's going to have.
A lot of guys go off the wrong foot now, huh? That's nothing to go off the wrong foot anymore.
I think it's because you need to be able to get a shot off because the defense is so good that they're going to be guarding the strong side, and I think you need to be able to alter your position in midair to be able to finish a lot of layups. And Sexton has shown a complete knack to be able to do double clutch layups, up and unders, reverse layups. He has the full layup package, and he looks great down there. And I hear what you're saying in terms of transition being a lot less defensively stressed, but I think that his speed and the up and down court and his ability to weave through people, I think it'll transition okay. And I think that he'll be able to handle himself. It will be limited to a degree, but he can just pull it back out. I mean, he's going to have a really high usage this year. I mean, if you think about him playing, it's him and George Hill, and that's it.
You know, when Ty Lue was on and they had him talking, he virtually said that if Love wants out, we're going to find a way to get him out. And
they're trying to rebuild.
So
I think they are.
I mean, I don't say tank.
That's what I mean.
He's virtually saying it's going to be a 2-year tank. So you got Sexton coming in here, and they're talking Love to Portland, and Portland's my favorite team in Summer League. I like their team a lot. I don't think it translates to the big team, but they've got. I mean, they got depth on that team. Who do you want to talk about?
I just want to finish out I have a couple more thoughts on a couple more Cleveland players. I've really loved what I've seen from Chetty Osman.
Cleveland. Okay.
And I think that Chetty.
Yeah. Why didn't he play last year?
Because LeBron was there.
But he was playing.
Yeah, but I think that I don't think that his style. He wasn't awesome. He wasn't a shooter, and he wasn't. He was a little odd. Yeah, he was a little out of place defensively.
I think he fit.
I think this year, coming forward, I think he's going to get the most minutes at small forward. I think it's him. They don't really have small forwards on that team. It's him, J.R. Smith, and Kyle Korver. He's shown creation ability that I did not know that he have. He's aggressive defensively, and he can get to the hole. I love how he fits in terms of the team concept. I think that he's going to fit great as long as Kevin Love's there and Sexton's there. He's going to be great. I think
be perfect.
I think that he's going to be a high rebound, high assist guy.
He's not that.
I know, but he's aggressive and he's high IQ.
He's got a nice transition game.
I like him a lot, and I've liked what I've seen from him.
Takes the three in transition.
I think he deserves more than 25
minutes.
His
head's always up. He sees the court really well. He's got a nice flow. He's got that thing that I always look for, where he makes the hockey pass real well.
He does.
So the ball's in his hand. He already knows where it's going right away. I like his game a lot. I liked his game during the regular season when they traded for George Hill and they took all his minutes away.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted him to play more.
And then he never played. And then he was buried.
All right, down to Memphis for Portland. Portland. I've liked what I've seen out of their rookie, the guy from IMG Academy, Anthony Simons. He's number 24, I think. In terms of his shot ability, I don't think he's going to get a lot of minutes this year, but moving forward, he's been interesting. I'm huge fan, and you are too, and I know you are because of coming into the draft last year. Zach Collins has looked incredible.
Unbelievable improvement.
His defensive ability.
He's 7 feet tall.
He's another -1 guy.
Well, he is.
But his defensive ability, he has such a high IQ down there, and he waits. He waits, and he knows what the offensive player is going to do before they do it, and he has shown an ability to be a step above the other players there, and I think he looks great, and I'm very excited for where he comes. I wish they let Nurkic go, but I understand that they had to bring him back.
Yeah, that's like I said. I don't think this translates to the big team, so to speak.
Exactly.
There are other players. I mean, Jake Williams played well, even though I know you don't like him.
He's all about performing well in games that don't matter.
Wade Baldwin's played well. Gary
Trent
Jr. has played decent. That John Jenkins, the 27-year-old from Spain, can really. I know. He's just, but on this team in the summer league,
I like Baldwin. I like Trent. I think they both.
And then they got guys way down on the bottom, like Archie Goodwin. They got a 7-footer, Papagiannis or whatever. I know, but he's an NBA player. Yeah. They got a lot of NBA players on that team. I think they're a very strong summer league team.
They're going to have some tough choices. And
it looks like Collins is who would be the bait for Love.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's probably who they would ship out. If not, maybe just some draft picks.
And that would be a nice matchup. I think Collins and Cleveland would be quite nice,
I think that would be great.
Too.
I think that Collins,
and Love would be just what Portland needs.
Absolutely, they need shooting.
They need shooting. I guess he went to high school right in almost downtown Portland. Kevin Love. Yeah. So I see that.
I thought it was. Oh yeah, actually I knew that.
Oswego High or something
like that. Yeah.
So I think that's a match. I wonder what that's. You would think it's going to happen. If it's happening now. So. Lillard's still talking a little bit about going to LA, but you put Love on that team. I think that changed the team a lot. I like that general manager the way he's a deadhead. I didn't know he was a deadhead. He quoted the Grateful Dead while it was on. Yeah, but Turner and Crabbe and Leonard.
Crabbe's not there anymore.
Huh?
Crabbe's not there
I know they got rid of him, but he pulled the trigger on those deals, and they were bad deals, and they're hurting that team.
I think
you don't like Jokic, huh? You don't think that?
Oh, Nurkic.
Nurkic.
I think he's okay. Yeah. I think he's a good.
They like.
I think he's a good fifth player, fourth player on a starting lineup in a playoff team. I think he's good, but the reason I don't like him is because I think that they should be giving minutes to Collins. I wish that.
But Collins didn't do minutes last year.
I know he didn't.
He does.
I know
now.
he didn't. That's my point. Yeah. I think last year I understand why they had them in their specific roles, but I think moving forward, I think Collins can handle a 25+ minute role, and I think that they would have served better to keep Ed Davis, who they let go.
Yes, now that's you took a locker room guy
exactly.
there.
He's a big guy. And I think letting him go was more of a mistake. I think that they could have spent money elsewhere, but I understand they're capped out, so they're kind of restricted.
There was another team guy let go too. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but it wasn't just Ed Davis. It was another guy too.
I think it was another big. I forget, but I don't know.
But anyway, they're glue guys, and Ed Davis, they missed that on that team.
It's interesting. I do think that probably Collins, maybe Wade Baldwin, because of their need for guard play. They let Shabazz Napier go. They just brought in Seth Curry.
Shabazz Napier is who I was thinking.
Okay, Shabazz just got let go.
Yeah.
They just brought in Seth Curry, who I think is a good fit. They need shooting outside their top two guys with CJ and Dame, and I think that Seth Curry will fit well as a bench two. So I'm thinking that maybe Baldwin, maybe Gary Trent, one of the guards in that team will be the fourth guard.
Yeah.
But I think besides that, Collins is the only name that you need to pay attention to on that roster.
Yeah.
So moving over to Memphis, I have been surprised on how much I've enjoyed watching Memphis play.
Did Bagley play the whole time, or did he stop playing? Did he play every game?
Jaren Jackson?
No,
Bagley's on Sacramento.
Sacramento. Okay.
Yeah.
No, Jaren Jackson. How do you like how Jaren Jackson's turned out?
He is so weird. He
blocked 7 shots last game.
He did. 9 points, 9 rebounds, 7 blocks. I hate his form, and I have such a hard time getting over players that are good shooters percentage-wise, but are ugly shooters appearance-wise. And that just is such a stick in my mind, and it's hard for me to mentally get over. But every other aspect of his game, and even to a degree, the shooting, has looked great. He switches great. He blocks shots too. He might be the best shot blocker in this draft. Probably not. I think it's still Bamba. But his IQ as a shot blocker is probably the highest. His ability to follow guards, to chase them down, to give them space that they think they have the space to create a shot, but he's still right there with them. I've loved what I've seen from him in those
hold
aspects.
His position better than Bamba.
Yes, he can.
So
Exactly.
Because he can hold
He's stronger.
Yeah, and I think with his pedigree with his father and everything, that he's got a maturity to him at his age already that is pretty strong. I mean, there's a lot in the summer league. I mean, I could keep going.
Well, let's transition to the Bulls. Let's talk about the Bulls.
Okay.
So the Bulls
are great because they include the summer league.
So the Bulls moving forward, they just signed Jabari Parker. We mentioned it briefly before. They now have the starting lineup projecting moving forward next year of Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, who they just signed that $78 million contract to, Jabari Parker, 2 years. Now they're going to have Laurie coming in on his second year, who looked great last year. He was a high-usage player, so it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to mix with 2 other high-usage players in Parker and LaVine, and then slotting in at center. Hopefully, I'm hoping that they start Wendell Carter, but I bet you to start off the year, I wouldn't be surprised if Robin Lopez started, and then they slowly weaned in Wendell Carter.
I think Carter's NBA ready.
Oh, absolutely.
So
he's been the most impressive player.
I think he made my first team All-Star team ahead of Ayton.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
And that's that's a lot. That says a lot.
Yeah, it does.
And if we redid the draft, like we were talking about there, he's a player.
Yeah, I mean, briefly. I mean, if we did redid the draft, I would still have Ayton above him because I think you can't. You can't pay too much attention to just 6 games, but absolutely he skyrockets up from probably to
I don't
3,
think the Bulls get him.
Probably to 3 or 4 for me in terms of where you're going to select him. But I think that he's looked great. His is similar to Jaren Jackson. Defensively, this isn't something that we expected for him. We were questioning whether or not we were like, oh, he's a high IQ defender, but maybe he's more of an Al Horford defender, that he just knows where to be and knows how to help a team defense, but individually he won't surprise people.
He is an Al Horford defender, and he's
plus.
He's
a plus. I mean, he shows out. He's pinning people.
Shots.
He's pinning people. He's catching balls off the backboard.
Passes.
And he creates. He looks like a complete package.
Player.
He looks like a complete package, and this team is super interesting.
It really helps Markkanen because Markkanen doesn't have the pressure on to be a real big. He can be a stretch for, and maybe as good a stretch for as there is in the league. He can be.
Right.
And Lopez is interesting. Lopez fits, and he'll help that team. I'm thinking it's going to be Carter.
You think Lopez is going to fight any more mascots moving up next year? So Markkanen, in terms of how his surrounding talent is going to affect his projection as a potential star moving forward, is really weird because I hear what you're saying. With Wendell Carter helps him to the nth degree. He's a defensive centered front court pairing that is going to allow him to really just less pressure on his shoulders defensively. He can focus more and he can spread the floor. Wendell Carter can stretch in and out, meaning that they're going to have more flexibility with what they can do. But on the flip side, where Wendell Carter helps, I think that Jabari Parker and Zach LaVine really hurt Lauri Markkanen's ability to develop a stronger offensive game. He's going to turn less into a self-creator into more of a spot shooter, and I think that's going to hurt him. He's still going to be a good NBA player, but they're bringing in 2 players that are 20-plus usage rate guys with these 2 players that I think it's really going to hurt Markkanen. Markkanen last year was one of the highest usage rookies that the league has ever seen.
Yeah.
And coming in, he's going to have to take a downtick because of these two guys coming in.
I'm not sure of that because I think they give the ball to Dunn. I think that happens there.
I like Dunn.
I think that they build a team around Markkanen and that Parker's.
You still think he's their guy out of those 5?
I think he is. So I think that they bring in Parker and they bring in Levine. Levine's history with his injuries and his playing time, he's got a lot of proving to do. Parker, the same thing. I think they bring him in to fit with that core of Dunn and Markkanen and Carter, and I don't think that they're going to. They want Markkanen to develop, and I think it's going to be Parker that takes a backseat to it. He's not going to be the man.
So you're not expecting a lot. Parker.
I expected a lot from him.
Parker's going back to his hometown.
I think it's a nice team. I think the 5 guys blend real well together.
Right,
but
it's interesting because Parker does project.
Levine's good in transition.
Levine is good in transition, but Parker projects more as a 4 in today's NBA than he does a 3. And defensively,
he's good defense in the Celtics series. And
he only played good defense in 2 quarters.
He came out and played guys.
He's a horrible defender.
He played Tatum. He played Brown.
Yeah, in 2 quarters.
Okay.
Every other quarter
he played Tatum and he played Brown. He's going to have to do that on that team. And you're talking about the Bulls.
Yes.
So the Bulls are pretty far down. So maybe Parker's not the perfect guy for him, but that's what they're going to ask him to do.
Yeah, taking a swing is the right idea.
And he's happy to have the opportunity.
Right. It's a low risk, high reward situation for them. It's only 2 years. The second year of the contract is team controlled, so they don't want to bring him back because he doesn't prove himself in this season. They don't have to.
And how big's Parker? 6'7", 6'8"?
Yeah, just about. I think it makes sense.
It's going to be a 3.
I think it makes. I mean, he's obviously going to play the 3 because of the people surrounding him. But I think his ideal fit in the modern NBA is probably a 4. But I like it. I think that Wendell Carter and Chris Dunn are the glue to whether or not those 3, the Levine, Parker, Markkanen, offensive creation, offensive game works. And whether they run their offense through pick and roll and through high post creation from Wendell and Chris Dunn with the wings stretched out with Markkanen and Zach LaVine. Hopefully Jabari can run some baseline dunker position. I think there is an offensive set in there that works with those 5 guys. I'm just not sure if they're going to get it. Hoiberg showed signs last year, actually, of having a promising offense. Formerly, he was putrid. But he's shown sign of improvement. Hopefully,
he's weathered the storm.
Right, exactly. Hopefully, as a young coach, he can improve with his players.
I am going to be eating crow on Chris Dunn because I said he would never be a pro because he in the college game he finished within 5 feet of the hoop at 40%. And at Providence, I just didn't think it translated. I'm eating crow on that guy. I think it's going to be a breakout year for Chris Dunn. I think last year he sat some time with injuries and stuff, so you just saw a lot of good stuff from him. But I think he's ready, and if he's not hurt, I think he's ready to play, and he's got a nice game. I mean, you're talking John Wall type of defensive
John Wall peak defense, no longer.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
No, I think that Chris Dunn moving forward, he absolutely has the ceiling of being able to
that's key to that team.
Yeah, he can be an All-NBA defender sometime in the near future, and I think that that's exactly what this team needs with those other 3 guys in that starting lineup being defensive pariahs. I'm hoping that Zach LaVine, his offensive creation gets reeled in a little bit. He does more quick offense, less pounding the ball into the ground.
No, Dunn's going to have that.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I want Chris Dunn to do.
I think they're a good pair. I think Dunn and LaVine are a good pair. LaVine, like I said, I think he's got a lot of pressure on him. That's $78 million contract.
Yeah. I mean, this team has to skyrocket up to the top of league pass watchable teams. At every position.
It's the Parker acquisition that has put them up. So as much as you say Parker, maybe no, but he's the one. He's the one that's got everybody thinking that they're a whole lot better.
All right. We got final thoughts. I didn't see it yet. Tell me
Tell
me what you think about Uncle Drew in 2 minutes.
Okay,
2 minute Uncle Mike review.
Okay, I would say tremendous performances by Kyrie Irving and
Aaron Gordon.
Not Aaron Gordon.
Shaquille O'Neal.
No.
Lisa Leslie. Lisa Leslie.
Not Lisa Leslie. 2 other guys.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller, outstanding. Outstanding, great. I mean, we're talking Academy Award.
Really good.
And then the best performance we haven't even said yet. It's
I don't know who else is in the movie. I didn't see it yet.
He's a big name guy. He does all the announcing, and almost a Hall of Fame type player. A real good looking guy. I can't think of his name right now.
What
he played
role
a preacher, and I should have written it down. Now it's been
Chris Webber.
Chris Webber.
He was a good actor?
The best.
Really?
Awesome. He played a preacher. Played a preacher man.
That's surprising.
He was really good. All so those 3 guys were good.
Okay.
I think the weakness was Shaq.
Was he too goofy?
He played Shaq.
Well, that's what I got to expect.
Yeah, Webber didn't play Webber. Reggie Miller played a blind guy. Played a guy that was blind. They played roles. Shaq played Shaq. I was thinking Kevin Garnett instead of Shaq.
I agree. I
was
like KG
Joel,
more
I
than
was
Shaq.
thinking Joel Embiid instead of Shaq, that they would have fit better. So I thought Shaq was the.
How was the level of play in the games?
Oh, not that good. I mean, Gordon was good. The individual stuff they did was good,
Yeah,
but
highlight.
the competition wasn't good. It was everything was good. I mean, look at who the players were; they were good, but they really just isolated on those guys without any defense on them.
What was the best line from the movie?
Oh, I can't remember lines.
No?
I'm horrible at lines. I should have remembered them, but I don't. The one they say is the best line. I didn't even think it was a good line. It was a Kyrie line, but I didn't think it was a good line.
What was the line?
I can't remember it. I said I don't remember lines. I'm horrible at lines.
Well,
it's just like lyrics to songs.
Do you recommend it?
I never used to remember lyrics to songs until I started learning all these songs. But I always just waited for the guitar to play.
1 to 10. How does it rate?
In terms of all sports movies, or
Yeah.
7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
So it's better than
It's not as good as Space Jam.
It's not as good as Coach Carter or He Got Game, but
it's not as good as Hoosiers.
Yeah, but it's
more dramatic.
below that tier.
But it's very good.
It's better than Joanna Man.
And I would go just to see Chris Webber and Reggie Miller. I would go see them. They were really.
I mean, I'm going to see it eventually. I just haven't
really
had time. All right, we're going to close off with that. Thank you for joining us in my wheelhouse.
Thanks
see you
for doing
next
Uncle
week
Drew.
when Summer League will be over, and we'll have to come up with some crazy stuff to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.